Hello everyone and welcome back to the British Strength YouTube channel. Today I'm going to start a series, probably an ongoing series, a permanent series of bloggy or vloggy type posts, videos rather, which kind of chronicle my training, chronicle updates, things which happen in the running of British Strength, etc, etc. First of all, what I'm going to do is give a little update on where I am right now. I am currently preparing for the GPC British, okay, which is in about 9.5 weeks time. We're just at the start of September right now. I am actually doing at the moment bench only and maybe deadlift, simply because at the moment I have a little bit of a back injury. So just after tattooing strong in April, I basically had a grip failure at the competition. A week after, I decided to try mixed grip, but I realized that if I really wanted to try it, I'd have to go heavy. Okay, so not as heavy as I went the week before. I went to, like, I think it was 360, 365. Halfway up, I just felt that my back wasn't, because of the asymmetrical type loading, my back didn't feel as braced as it normally would, and I felt 2 pops on the way up in the right side of my spine, kind of right near the iliac crest area, and obviously, of course, instantly put it down, and then a couple of minutes later I started to feel the pain. I'm going to see if I actually have the footage still. So I'm voicing over all of these to avoid copyright infringement, but I will tell you what I said at the end, which was, that's not good. And since then, basically, it was pretty, significant back tweak, I suppose you could say. Since then, the first couple of weeks was, the usual kind of agony, and I've had a lot of symptoms down the right leg. At first, it was pretty unbearable in terms of, couldn't sleep on my right side because that would kind of like compress the hip joint or whatever, and what would happen is I would just get like just searing pain, burning pain all down my right hand side. Kind of felt like my leg was having acid poured on it. Same thing when I would stand up. I would have like 2 minutes to stand up, then it would start, then it'd be like game over. I'd have to kind of lie down or sit down again just to get it to go away. Now this is 4.5 months ago now. Luckily that type of pain went away, and the pain at the site has completely gone after like 2-3 weeks, but since then it's just this right leg which has kind of not woken up properly since. We kind of like still numb down this area, like the inside of the shin, and I don't have full strength yet in this leg, which, like, on the face of it would seem like somewhat worrying, but I've had a similar injury before, probably like, it was 8 years ago now, I think, just after the 2015 tattooing strong. Honestly, it was a week after. Again, like, it's like almost too much of a coincidence that it was a week after tattooing strong. I hurt myself deadlifting 8 years ago, and I actually got the certificates back the other day from when my son's mum was kind of clearing out the house, giving me back, the last of my old stuff, and I got the certificates back the other day, and it reflected, the results from tattooing strong to the European Championships was the next comp I did after that. About 4 months later, I'd lost 30 kilos off my squat and deadlift each, and then the certificate after that was the British one, which I did in November, which was 8 months after, and like everything just clicked back into place like literally 2 weeks before, but like since then it didn't show much hope of coming back. Now that's given me a lot of hope, but this time it has been a bit more serious in terms of the right leg as well has atrophied, and quite significantly compared to the left. So I mean, I do have pictures, but I don't want to show them just yet. Just on the off chance that it doesn't grow back. It's kind of like, for me, someone who's competed in bodybuilding in the past, and like, always had pride in having well developed quads and whatnot. It's a little bit embarrassing at the moment, because the right leg, honestly, like now, the only way I can describe it is like when you see, masters bodybuilders on stage who just don't have the legs anymore, or never grew the legs, and they look a bit overtrained, a little bit over dieted, like that withered look. That's what the right leg has right now, and it's yeah, it's a bit crap if it doesn't grow back, but hey, you know, take it one step at a time. However, that's my little update. So we've entered GPC British in 9.5 weeks. I'm doing bench only. If the deadlift comes back, I'll do some type of deadlift there. If I can pull like 330 or above, something like that. If not, I don't really see the point for me, you know, with a PB of 385. I'm working with Jordan Hellier, as a lot of you know, and we're going to put a plan in place there. Jordan's confident that I can PB, so a PB would be anything above 230. Jordan said that that you know, he's confident that I can go above that. So my body weight now is like 130 kilos. I'm looking to push that up over the next kind of 9 weeks. The most I've been is 136 kilos. For anyone kind of overseas using the imperial system, that's 300 pounds. So yeah, a lot of eating to go and whatnot, and try to keep the cardio in place so I don't feel as terrible when I'm walking as I did last time. But at the moment, training's going pretty well. I've just finished a strength block at a 200 for 2, 200 kilos for 2 on the bench press for 2 sets of 2 rather. It's kind of like creeping back up there. It's not feeling the best it ever has, but I believe in the next few weeks we will surpass that. Has me emphasizing technique massively on these, so basically shoulders back and down, thoracic extension, not letting that chest drop if I can even half a centimeter. He has me setting this other angle as well, which is like a bird's eye view, and this is just to basically let him see, you know, whether my shoulder, my scapular depression is being lost at all. This set actually moved a lot better than the set before it, so I was pretty happy with this one. I'm really excited for the GPC British. That is on the 11th and 12th of November. If you've qualified through the GPC, get yourself entered. If you haven't qualified, I think there might still be like a qualifier or 2 left. I'm really not sure, but you can find the calendar in British Strength magazine. So yeah, it's in Wrexham too, which is local for me. And the funny thing here is, like, when I actually had my sights on a competition, see, I was going to do the Andy Bolton deadlift challenge. We were actually prepping me for the Andy Bolton deadlift challenge. This is the other part to the story, actually. We were prepping me for the Andy Bolton deadlift challenge. And the weights just weren't there, you know, the strength isn't, you know, the strength isn't back in my right leg. You know, I'm struggling with like 270, you know, 260, 270. It doesn't feel safe because all the weight is shifting to the left side because the right side can't handle it. And you know, in the end, I just said to Jordan, like, look, I don't think I'm going to do the Andy Bolton because this thing isn't coming back. It's like 4.5 weeks out currently. So we decided to kind of like scrap that prep. And now that I'm doing something, even though bench only doesn't get me excited normally, like now that I'm doing something, now that I'm going into something which I feel I can actually show my best at, show my best ever at, it really is like lighting the fire in me just automatically. Like, it's motivating me automatically. I want to, you know, I want to nail every single training session, nail every single meal, get my sleep really on track and on target. And it is funny, I just thought it's kind of funny how like things can affect you psychologically in that way so significantly. Like when things are going well, and sure, that's not to say that you shouldn't try to push through plateaus when they're going badly, but sometimes, you know, in the case of this injury, which isn't just gonna, you know, I don't know of anything that I can actually do to just make it stop happening, unless, you know, other than just time. But in the case of this injury, sometimes you do have to just kind of take a step back and focus on what you can do, like focus on what can be progressed, because that's actually the strategy I took last time when I was prepping, when I first had this injury 8 years ago. I actually worked on my bench and improved my bench in the meantime, and then when the injury had gone, the bench was still left there improved, and I could then work on the rest of my total. You know, I hadn't wasted that time recovering. You know, I'd been working on something separately. So, you know, if any of you out there are injured or anything like that, or if something's not going well, you know, and it can't just be instantly improved, focus on the other stuff and improve the other stuff so that you've got that to go back to when the rest of it is sorted and remedied. I'm gonna finish this one here. I'm going to end this one here. I'm going to pop some training footage from the past few weeks. You know, that as you'll see, that the deadlift and the squat are nothing impressive, and then, you know, it is actually somewhat embarrassing in a way to go into a gym and be struggling with like 180, 200 kilo squats when, you know, I've not been the best squatter so far. You know, in the future with Jordan, you know, helping with certain things, I know that I will be a lot better than I've ever been. But like, to get in a gym and struggle with 200 kilos, and it be a public gym as well. Honestly, it's difficult to do, because in my mind I'm thinking like, are people looking at me thinking that guy is really big and he's dressed like a powerlifter with all the kit, and, you know, I can do that. I could squat that. You know, he's not really that strong. And not that you should care what other people think, but, you know, if we're honest about, you know, our self-identity, our egos, sometimes we do have them. We do have egos. We do have, you know, pride in what we've achieved, and you know, a lot of the time we do care what people think about us. So yeah, I'm going to show you some of that stuff now, and you know, you'll see where I'm at, and hopefully over the next few months, you know, you're going to see that stuff will fairly rapidly improve back to where it was, and then, you know, Jordan and I are going to work on getting me better than I ever have been. So thank you for tuning into the first ever one, and there'll be more of these to come. Here's the training. Last week of the block with these, heaviest I've been in months and months. 600 pounds. Shout out Darren Sloan, who believes, along with everyone in his village, that this is a real man's weight. No more, no less though. If you lift more, you're on anabolics, and if you lift less, you're not a real man. In fact, if you're on anabolics, you're not a real man. Logan's my cheerleader in the background there, my little boy. So lastly, squats. Yes, these didn't move anywhere near like they should, 200 kilos, and you know, it's just I don't have the control there, especially in the hole while this injury is still present. But looking at the positives, my rib that I was feeling during particularly squats like feels pretty much absolutely fine now, and 200 kilos would flare up in the past. Thanks for watching, guys. Make sure you like, comment and subscribe, and in the comments just let me know anything that you want to see on this YouTube channel.